Good evening, my fine friends on YouTube. We're going to talk a little bit about pretty privilege. It's really ridiculous to complain about pretty privilege, which is why I haven't made this video before. However, I lost another friend to this little drawback of it. Just like, yesterday? And I need to vent about that, and about not just about that specific situation, but about the larger pattern that I've observed, or that's been going on with this. A lot of people call this the friend zone. So I am very weird, and I'm autistic, and I have complex PTSD. So I didn't find making friends very easy as a child. My models for relationships were quite toxic, and I didn't know how. I honestly, I was sort of adult coded. I'm not sure how much of that was me. Hyperverboseness probably had something to do with it as well. What I'm getting at is I was a weird kid who had no friends until I sprouted tits. And then all of a sudden, all of the guys who I'd wanted to be friends with so much as a kid wanted to spend time with me. Until... So I cannot count. I'm sure that if I were to really break it down, I would have more guys who abandoned me as a friend when I admitted that I didn't want to fuck them than I have fingers and toes. I would say the majority of my friends did this, which, now that I'm looking back on it, and now that I have friends who aren't cis straight men, white men, I'm realizing, oh, maybe I was sourcing my friends from the wrong demographic. However, I grew up feeling like a boy and wanting to be one of the boys. So, when I was suddenly getting attention from boys, I was like, I want this to keep happening. So I played into my sexual traits and quickly developed a what I like to believe is a false belief that I am only worthwhile if I am useful to you sexually, which is so well, I was gonna say, why didn't I try to make friends with girls? Girls hated me. I was really badly bullied at a couple different schools that I went to, and I feel like they knew I wasn't one of them. And with the one group of friends that I sort of had in grade school, that was a pack of boys in my neighborhood, they would sometimes let me play with them, but usually they wouldn't, because I was a girl. Anyway, down the line, I just figured, the only way that I could convince people to tolerate me is if they are sexually attracted to me, and I have to sort of cater to the male gaze if I even want to have friends, which really, now in retrospect, shot me in the foot. Because I would play up my physical attractiveness in order to make friends, but then the boys would develop a crush on me, and a lot of the time what would happen is they would develop a crush on me, and then they would say that they had a crush on me, and I'd be like, oh, I want to be friends. And then they would feel justified in completely not only abandoning me as their friend, but complaining actively that they had been friend zoned, which is when a man, I'm going to say it this way: a man makes friends with a woman with the ulterior motive of pursuing her romantically or sexually, and then gets angry at that woman when she takes him at face value and accepts his friendship and rebuffs like sexual or romantic advances because she took him at good faith that he really wanted to be your friend. If you can tell, I'm feeling some kind of way about this. That's it. I feel like a fucking idiot now that I would like that. First of all, that I presented as a woman for as long as I did because I thought that I had to for anybody to tolerate me, because I thought that people wouldn't tolerate me unless I was aesthetically appealing to them. It makes me angry on behalf of all of the beautiful women who have been blamed for wanting friends. And yeah, so the whole thing makes me really, really sad. I thought I had found a real friend. I sort of got I knew that he had feelings for me just because of some of the shit he said, and I would just avoid, even though it's so weird. Like I said in the get-go, I don't want to fuck. I don't want. So that sucks. And I even delayed like going on testosterone and coming out because I really didn't think I would find anybody who would even tolerate me unless I fit a beauty standard that they found attractive. And it makes me so sad, and I feel a lot of compassion for my younger self. And a lot of compassion for anybody out there of any gender who is going through something similar. It does seem that in my generation, the turns are tabling a little bit. See what I did there? In that, like, women are actually being like, no, you girlfriend zoned me. You know, I didn't friend zone you. We entered into a friendship that I trusted you to also consider a friendship, and you had ulterior motives the whole time, and then you got mad at me when you revealed that you had been lying to me about wanting to be my friend. And I was like, oh, well, I do want to be your friend. Well, this video is about 19 minutes long, and I'm thinking of making more tonight, so I guess I'll go. Is there anything else? I'm going to pause. Yeah, I should add that this probably wouldn't have been as big of a problem as it was if I hadn't grown up in the environment that I did. So my mom was like an understudy on Broadway, and she waited tables for a long time. And when she realized that she wasn't going to make it big and she was tired of waiting tables, she found a man who would support her so she would never have to work again, and she married him. And I think that's sort of what she expected my sister and I to do. Because she's beautiful. And, like, there wasn't a lot of emphasis put on us being, like, independent and yeah, actually, that's sort of it. We weren't really. And what I so appreciate about my sister is she worked from a very young age, and she worked hard, and she earned her money, and she earned her own living, and she never expected a man to carry her. Which is frankly more than I can say for myself. I always sort of figured I would do what my mom did. Like, get bored of whatever I was doing, find a man who would take care of me for the rest of my life, and settle down. Which I'm not going to do. Because I'm going to make my own living by making my trauma pay in my new upcoming book, which I'm actually considering retitling Escapegoat.